Well, Neil Jacklakar, and you got an amazing product here. I can't believe it. For someone as energetic as me, I'm always looking to recharge my batteries. And you got now this nap well, right? You're gonna make me take a nap and be 40% more efficient than I ever was before. How do you do this stuff? What is this thing about? I mean, it's just a terrific thing.
No, absolutely. So the Napwell is actually the world's first napping mask that we're excited about. So what it does, it helps
A
you nap.
napping mask?
A napping mask.
So the one little thing you put on your eyes, but it's to take a nap, but
So
it's
a
different.
sleeping mask, but it's like the kind you get on an airplane.
Yeah.
But it's designed specifically for napping.
Napping. So what makes it different than just putting a black sock on your eyes?
So a lot of it is actually the process of waking you up out of sleep. So the Napwell actually has lights that are built into the mask that slowly become brighter to actually wake you up like a sunrise.
Wow. So in other words, the theory, reading your thing, is that people, when they take a nap, they all of a sudden, are woken up or something out of the middle of a sleep, and they lose efficiency for like an hour after they get up, right?
Exactly. So when you wake up from sleep and you have sort of that lousy post-nap, groggy headache sort of feeling that I used to always get, it's actually called sleep inertia. There's technical
Sleep
term for it.
inertia.
And so it happens when you wake up. So when you're sleeping, there's sort of two cycles. There's REM and non-REM cycles. So sort of deep sleep and not as deep sleep. And so the key is actually waking up in those not as deep sleep sort of cycles to avoid that feeling.
So now there's something, I mean, so you have like little lights or something inside the mask that slowly turn on as the timing, I mean, you set the time, like you want to sleep for a half hour, right?
Exactly. So it's sort of like a reverse alarm clock. Instead of setting the time when you wake up, you set the time for how long you want to sleep.
Oh.
And then about 10 to 15 minutes before you're supposed to wake up, the lights slowly become brighter and brighter.
I see.
By the time you're ready to wake up, your body is sort of react to that light and you're out of that deep sleep and you'll wake up without the headache.
Wow, so you're ready to go by that time instead of foggy as hell for 30 minutes or something like that.
Exactly.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, I mean, it seems you and your partner are guys have been studying sleep like for a lot of your short lives already, right?
Absolutely. One thing that we're really excited about, and I think since sleeping is such a common activity, is that sort of figuring out sort of the data behind it to figure out how sleep can make you more productive, and not just in terms of not getting enough sleep, but sort of the added benefits of these like short power naps.
Well, I guess our lives are so complicated nowadays that sometimes a good night's sleep isn't always possible, but we may have a half hour or an hour somewhere and we could do this, and it's like recharging a battery with no side effects.
Exactly. What's interesting is that even if you do sleep enough at night, napping still helps you by sort of boosting your ability to retain new information and your creativity. So you can think of it sort of like an alternative to a caffeine.
Wow, so Starbucks is going to buy you out. Get rid of
We're ready
you.
for Starbucks to sort of have a little napping pod.
I see. They should have a napping pod for that. So, but really, instead of we go for that caffeine when we feel a little, sluggish, and you're saying we could take a little nap, put these on, and we'll be more refreshed than even caffeine.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, and so you're two young guys, been working on this thing, and now your partner, now he's got some fancy education thing he's involved in now too.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me tell you a little bit more about me, because I actually introduced myself. So my name's Neil Jaglikar. I'm a Stanford engineering graduate. I live out in the Bay Area, and I work with my partner Justin Lee, who's unfortunately couldn't be here right now.
He's taking a nap, right?
Exactly, he's taking a nap. We do that. That's basically our job. So he's actually a PhD candidate in a joint Harvard Medical School MIT program.
Wow. So you guys aren't fooling around. I mean,
yeah, he's the serious one.
You only have a degree from Stanford.
I just get to have conversations like that.
But more importantly, I mean, you took an idea like this, which is obviously very important, and will be a boom not only for people driving, but people in our lives. I mean, how do we everybody's walking around, it seems half groggy, I think, because they don't get enough sleep. And everyone in Congress should have it. This is what you may want to find. This information is the president. Lewinsky. Why is my name? My boys were in the White House with him. But what's his name? Clinton. Bill Clinton says the problem with Congress is nobody has time to sleep. Nobody's taking. And so if we keep one of these masks to everybody in Congress, they'd be a lot more productive and a lot better off. No, and that he made a big issue out of that once, and it was a very serious comment. It wasn't a flip kind of thing.
Also, one of the exciting things is that the crowdfunding and Kickstarter model actually allows you to connect with those that back the project early. And we've been really excited by sort of the use case scenarios that they've been sharing with us. So some interesting ones are sort of frequent flyers who want to get over jet lag faster.
I see. Wow, that's right. Yeah.
Or physicians, for example, who are in, they have very, very long shifts at the hospital, and they just want to take a short power break to help them because, you don't want your surgeon sort of groggy while he's sort of operating.
But a busy mom come home from work, and if she spends 45 minutes with a power nap, she's ready for the kids for the rest of the night, too.
Exactly. And sort of the most interesting one, or sort of out of the blue one, was actually someone from the U.S. Navy. And so one problem is that when someone's in a submarine, there's sort of no light cues to regulate sort of when you're supposed to be awake and when you're supposed to be asleep.
Right.
And he thought that a mask like this would sort of, these.
No, you're absolutely. I was a ship driver, and at the time we would have, we'd be 4 hours on, 8 hours off, 4 hours. So one day you're working at midnight, next day you're working at 2 in the morning. Who the hell knows when you're working? It could be noon. And every day is different. So if I could get a little power now, I can get a little juice but I mean the creativeness and the effectiveness of someone, I think that is so important in our lives, and we don't have an understanding of that. And what it seems to me you're doing is having a device now that makes us, really happier people, because we're more productive. Now, what you mentioned something early. Now you went on crowdfunding, Kickstarter, and God, in 2 weeks you got almost all your money already. I mean, that's embarrassing. I hope you're not spreading that around. I mean, it looks like. Don't you know better? Why didn't you ask for more, you stupid kid?
So the beauty of crowdfunding is that once you set a goal, you can surpass that goal. It doesn't stop.
They're still shoving it in. But why did you choose, crowdfunding to try to raise money for this?
So I think crowdfunding is actually interesting for a few reasons. The first is that it really helps you validate sort of your idea. So Justin and I always thought the nap well, first of all, we thought napping was a problem. And then we thought that the nap well was a good solution, but we weren't sure. Sure, we would buy it. Our parents would buy it.
Right.
But can we get people we don't know who don't have any sort of connection to us to actually buy it? And so crowdfunding actually gives you that opportunity. You sort of create the campaign, you put it online, and then people you don't know independently decide whether to buy or not. And so you don't need to go through the trouble of manufacturing, having boxes of napping masks in your house without the knowledge that someone's actually going to want it.
Yeah.
And so crowdfunding has really, really helped us with that.
Well, now, I mean, it seems that with two guys with your backgrounds and talent and expertise, you could have probably found private money for this, like a venture capitalist. I mean, you hang out there in Silicon Valley, you know that road, and you could have probably found that kind of money. Why is this better for you?
Yeah, it's actually interesting because we actually have been approached by quite a few investors, and I'm not even sure how they've heard about us. We have, but I think it's kind of what I described earlier. More important than the money is sort of the validation of the need.
I see.
People telling us not only, I really need this, I think it will help me, but also, here are a few other scenarios that you might not have thought about, but I think would really, help me in this way. The Navy one is an example.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, because at the end of the day, $30,000 is what our goal was, and that's not going to get us sort of
millionaires, right?
Company, right? Exactly. But the 400 backers that we have to get to that level, have really helped us and sort of helped us found our fashion designer and sort of different connections to different manufacturing in China, different pieces that we wouldn't have otherwise.
But it's still, you have 400 people that you now know you have a market instead of one fat cat who believes in you and will never buy it anyway, right?
Exactly.
Well, you're a wonderful person. I'm so happy you're in the world, Neil, and you and your buddy, because I think I'm going to get one of these things. As a senior, I mean, I think about more of napping, and I want to get more out of life because it's short for me. See, it's longer. You should not be worried about the time because you got lots of time left. See, it's old people. We have to be more efficient with our time.
We all want to be more productive.
And so to find it, you're always at napwell.com, napwell.com, right?
Correct.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Neil.
No problem. Take care. Thanks for having me.